And right here, we're gonna go to the list. And right here, perfect. So now it's gonna be also, we're gonna add a new section right here. We can add an image. So we can just do auction art just for this sample. And let me see, can just use this image. I'm gonna make sure we add a little bit of dark color right there. And then this is gonna be much faster, I feel. So here, oh, one more thing, we're gonna add a padding at the top. Percentage, we're gonna do 3, and then right here we're gonna do percentage, we're gonna do 5. And that's it. So as you can see, now we have a padding here and padding right here. And then we're gonna add our embedded social. We're gonna add in HTML, and then we can just expand this for now. Then there's gonna be also a code that I'm gonna give you. It's HTML for the search. So you can just paste that code right there. Everything is gonna be hopefully not confusing on the PDF instructions I'm gonna be giving you. So all those codes you can just literally copy and paste there. Next, we're gonna add a repeater. So we're gonna go to layouts, add a repeater. We're gonna make sure also we add our padding again. And then we're gonna do 5% here. What did I do? Oh, I added to the wrong place. We gotta add it to this section. And then 5%. There you go. And then we can expand this. If you don't want it to look like this, you can also add a padding at the top. So I'll do 3%. So now you should be able to see it. Where'd it go? Oh, it's pixels. We want to do percentage. So it's 3%. There you go. So that's easier. And then right here, all you have to do is add your elements. So we can do, let's do this one. And then just adjust your design however you like. And we're gonna add a text here. What I normally like to do is I can always go back to my other page to have a consistency on my design. So I can just copy this, for example, right? And I can copy this and then just bring it over to my list page. And then just gonna paste it right here. So that way I can easily have a similar design. So that's gonna be there. And actually we can do this one first. And we're gonna change the name. So this one is gonna be day. So it can be day, minutes, and then left. And then this one, of course, is going to be just the title. And we can also duplicate this one. And then we're going to use this for location. So edit text. And I can do location. And then we're going to duplicate this one more time. And now this one, we can make it bold. And this is going to be current bid. So that's a bid amount. And then lastly, we're going to add a button. Yeah, and we're going to copy our button here. I think I really like this one. And we can just paste it right here. And this one is going to be name bid. Right there. And one thing I did add, I can duplicate this button. And I can add another button up here at the top. And this one can say also status. And we can change the color. And we can also change the corners. So we can just do 0. So they're like a square. And then we can just add it right here. Again, this is optional. You don't have to do it this way. It just makes it easier for the user to see if it's already closed or still being knows, right? And then now we're gonna start adding our IDs for this repeater. So first, we're gonna name our repeater. So you're gonna make sure you select your repeater, and then you're gonna expand this, and then you're gonna change your repeater to repeater auction items. And then right here, we're gonna change the name of our button, which is gonna be status. Oh, I don't know why I opened that. And then our image is also gonna be named image thumbnail. So what I did on the code is, instead of having to add a thumbnail for each image, I have the code take an image from the gallery, and that's how you are able to display that information. I mean, that image. So just keep that in mind. There's no place to add a thumbnail. It takes it from the gallery that you uploaded. So we're gonna do day minutes left for the remaining time of the auction. Paste that right there. Our title, we're just also gonna change it to the ID to title. Location. The location, we can connect it directly to a data set. So we can just go here, add auctions item, make sure it says auctions item, and then the dynamic data set ID, we're gonna change it. Actually, we're gonna leave it like that. We're not gonna do anything. And we wanna display at least 50 items. And then that's it. So then this one, we can connect it to a location. So we're gonna do location. And then one other thing that we can connect is the image. We can do the link to the page. But first, let me change this. So that way, because when the page loads, I don't want it to show that image. So let's go here and change this as well. And okay. And if you want to show 4 items, then just make sure on your repeater, you select your repeater, right? And then you can change it to 4, and you'll be able to display 4 items here instead of 3. Right now, I just kept it like 3, just simple, but it doesn't matter. But again, once you click the button, the image, you click on the data set. Even though the code is going to use that for the image, we can still link this to the item. So if you click on the image, it's going to take you to the detail page. Okay, so that's something cool. Then we're going to do current bid. So this one is just code. And then we're going to also do the button. So the button is going to go also to the detail page. So this one can go to data set items or detail page. And now pretty much we're almost done here. Next thing is just going to paste the code that I'm going to give you. And that's it. So we can delete this stuff, and then you're just going to paste the code I'm going to give you. And as you can see, there's an error there. So the HTML that we added here earlier, we got to change the ID to search items HTML. And then that's it. And then there you go. So now it's all good there. And we can move to the next part, which is going to be the bidder dash. And that's it. We're going to be done pretty soon. So let's go into the next one. So we already complete this one. Wow, we're doing really good time. I thought it was going to take way longer. So now we're going to go to the bidder list. Here, this one is going to take a little bit of time. But again, it should be very easy and simple as well. We're gonna add a media. We can add again this right here, image, and we're also gonna use this one. And then we're gonna add the membership number. So we can do, let me go back here just to keep again consistency. Gonna copy these items, and then we can just do this two, copy, and then we can go to paste our elements. Oh, again, you can use you can use text. Normally, what I would recommend is to use the site styles, so you can set your fonts and colors. That's the best way to do it. But again, I'm not a designer, so I don't focus too much on creating the design. We're working more on the functionality, so just keep that in mind. This one is going to be membership. So it's going to be membership. And then right here, we can just keep it like that. And this one we can duplicate. And then you can just do a bunch of zeros or text. And then this one will connect it in a bit. Then we're going to do edit text, nickname. And then we're going to change this. So we can duplicate this. And then this one can be like update. So the reason why I keep update, so that way the person knows how to, or what they need to do. So I'm going to stack this so it's easier to just duplicate. And then duplicate this. Oh. Then just drag it right here. And then this one is going to be full name. And then we can leave it like that. Then we can, I did Control B and copy and paste. Okay. And then right here, we can do contact number. And then we're also gonna leave it like that. Copy and paste. And then actually this one was email. So we can do unstack here, and then we can do contact email to that. We can also stack this. Next, it's going to be contact number, or we can also do phone number, and then like that. And copy and paste. And right here, we can just do address. And like that. So this is going to be, again, super simple, because all of this is going to be connected to the data set. So right here, all you had to do is connect this to the data set. And then one thing I like to do, because once you start going into the mobile version, sometimes it could be confusing if you're trying to arrange items. So to avoid messing up the text, I will just give it an ID. So I can do update nickname. But this is not going to be needed in the code. Okay, so this is just an extra step. Update full name. It's just to give it an ID. But again, that's something that I like to do just to keep it easier for me. Contact email. Update. And then like that. But in this case, you don't need to do that if you don't want to. So this one is going to be nickname. So we're going to do public nickname. And then, and one thing, a good thing I just remember, what I would recommend is don't use the data set that was added when you created the page. So we're going to add a new one, okay? Because this is something I realized that I think is a bug from Wix. when you try to use the data set from the page that you added, you cannot do owner's login, because remember, this is going to be the user's dashboard log that they're going to use, and they're only going to be able to see it when they log in. So we're going to make sure we add it, and then we're going to change the label here to edit data set, and then just create. And this one is going to stay same, data set 1. And then here we can have it as read and write. So good thing I remember, because for a while I was having this issue, and I didn't notice it because I end up doing a lot of code, so I don't use that much data sets anymore. So here you're gonna do profile image, not this one because this is from the private members, so we're gonna use that one. And then here we're gonna connect it to the membership, and then right here on nickname we're gonna do nickname. And then this one is also gonna be, make sure this is not the one connected, okay? Edit data set, and then this is gonna be full name. And then just to verify again, just to be safe, edit data set. See, this one is incorrect, so it's edit data set, and then membership, because it's very easy to make those mistakes. This one too, we gotta select edit, and then profile image, okay? So verify that, edit data set. This one also has to be edit data set, and then this is gonna be contact email. So let me see, where's the email? Here. And then this one, phone number. So edit data set, this is gonna be phone number, and then this is gonna be the address. Edit, this is gonna be address right there. And then that's it. So now we're gonna be able to move to the next step. So we completed that. We're gonna add another section right here, and we're gonna add input elements. So here we can just do regular text, and this one, it's gonna be here. We're gonna change it to full name. Enter first and last name. Okay. Then we can duplicate this, or you can add it again. In this case, since I'm a little bit lazy and this one's already email, I'm just gonna add it again. And then we're gonna duplicate this, and we're gonna add a phone number now. Settings. This is good. Sorry, this is gonna be phone number, and then normally I'll just add the way I want the phone number to look, and then I can duplicate this also, and this is gonna be our nickname. So where you go? Oh, he added again. No, I don't know why it did that, but that's not what we wanted. So we want to duplicate this. There you go. And then this is gonna be nickname. Nickname. And then here, or again, you don't have to add anything, so it's not confusing. And then we're gonna add another element here for the address. This one you do want to use the right input, because if you don't, then you're not gonna have the suggestions. Your address, and like that. And then we're gonna add a picture. So this is necessary because you want to make sure that if they bid on an element and they won, you know who are you dealing with. So image 1, and this is gonna be profile photo. Perfect. So that's it. So we can expand this, and then we're gonna do a button. So we can still use this button. So we're gonna reuse this one more time, copy, and then we can paste this right here. And this one is gonna be update. And that's it. So one other thing that we're gonna add right now, it's another button right here for the edit. So you're gonna go and look for a button. And let me see, we're gonna use this one right here. Just put it right there. And then settings, we're gonna change this. Gonna look it up, see if Wix has a few. I'm gonna use this one and then edit. And that's gonna be our button. Again, you don't have to use exactly that one, but it's just very easy to just add. And we're also gonna give it an ID. So we're gonna click our button here. And that's it, to make sure I don't forget. Because if I don't add it, later I might forget. Now we're gonna go into connecting everything here. So this one is gonna be connected to the edit data set. And then you're gonna do full name. This is gonna be email. Where is the email? This is gonna be phone number. And then phone number, this is gonna be nickname. And we're gonna do your address here on edit dataset, your address, and then photo, edit dataset, profile image. And then the button is gonna be edit dataset, and then submit. We're gonna add a success message and failure message, and then we're just gonna drag them right here. And now we're gonna go up here and we're gonna connect this item. Make sure it's connected, edit. Okay, so that's correct. So pretty much we're almost there. Now we're gonna go to our data set, the one we added, edit data set. Make sure it's the right one. Okay, so just in case, make sure it's selected. Select data settings, and then you're gonna add a filter, and then you're gonna do owner is login, and then add a filter. So what this is gonna do is gonna make sure this is gonna be make sure that it's not gonna have problems referencing collections when you're submitting everything. And then we're gonna add our ID for our section. So same thing, this section, this one right here. We're gonna make sure it's collapsed, and then we're gonna delete this and rename it edit profile section for this one. Okay, and then now we're gonna add another section which we already have, and then right here we're gonna be adding another element. So first let me adjust this really quick. We're gonna add a padding of 5%, and now we're gonna add our embedded. So we're gonna use this one right here. We're gonna expand it, enter code, and then you're just gonna paste the, you're gonna paste the code I'm gonna give you, but the ID first before I forget. You're gonna click here, and then you're gonna change the ID of this element. Make sure it's the HTML one, so it's change. And then I'm gonna give you a code that you gotta paste. So we're gonna copy this code right here and then paste the code and then update. Once you do that, it should look like this. And then next, we're just gonna copy all the bellow code that I already gave you on the PDF. So let me go here, and then I'm gonna paste this right here. And as you can see, there's an error right here, says that we're missing an element. So what we need to do is on this right here, on this section, we gotta add a button to close that section. So we can use this one right here. And again, you can make sure adjust everything correctly. So This one has to go inside this section, okay? The edit profile section. That's where you're gonna add this button, and then you're gonna name it close BTN. And then this error should go away. Once you type the ID, click on the side and then click here, because then sometimes the error still shows. So just make sure. So there you go. So pretty much we're almost there. That was the last page. Now we're gonna work on our header right here. And then on the header is gonna be super simple. It's called the master section, right? So you're gonna click open master, click here, and then you're gonna delete this code right here. You don't need it. And then you're gonna paste the code and it should look like that, okay? So what it's gonna do is whenever someone creates an account, it's gonna reference the collection from the private members area, which is this one, into this section right here. So anytime somebody creates an account, it's gonna display in this part right here. It's gonna automatically reference that. So we're gonna test it right now. Let me make sure everything is good and going, working correctly, no errors. And then this one, we're gonna put it on top of this one. Again, we don't want it to look odd that you have two login buttons. And then you're just gonna click publish, save. And then the next thing is just gonna be start creating content, submitting everything. So we can go here. And as you can see here, what I mentioned is this is the problem, right? Because the button is behind. So you don't want to have that. So let's adjust it. What I recommend is you can also add a container. So that way it will stay inside. It's easier to manage. But if not, you can just go here, move backward. And now it's behind. And if I publish this, you should be able to see it. So if I refresh this, this should go like that. But if it still looks like that, we can just do this really quick. Let me select the first item, second item, and then place in a container. And now it's in a container, and then I can put this in the middle. And I can select the item, put in the middle as well. And then when I publish this, it's going to be easier to contain. In the classic editor, it's much easier because the breakpoints stay different. See, it's a little bit better. But if you're still not happy, make sure we expand this button right here. And we can also go to layers. And then our login button, this one right here, we can set it in the middle exactly. And that's it. It should work now. Okay. And then publish this. Perfect. So now it looks clean. So the other thing is, so it's easy for us to test everything. We're going to manage the menu. We're going to add it right here. Main pages. We can do show pages. We're gonna do action items list, and then done. And this is gonna be action list, and that's it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue a series within this because I feel like there's a lot of people gonna have questions about, can I add an option to save listings, things like that. So we want to make sure that's easy. So if I go to auction list, as you can see, there's no items right now, and we'll add a few. So that way you can see what it looks like. I'm gonna go here. We're gonna go to auction items, and we can just do 1980 silver coin collectible. And then the description, I can add some random text from a printer I was searching earlier. And then the starting bid, I want it to be 50. The status, we're gonna leave it as open. enter. Then the current bit, we're gonna start it as like current bit. 1 second. And let me make sure, because maybe 1 second. Status. Starting bit. Oh yeah, current bit is I was confusing it with this one. So starting bit, you're gonna leave it what you wanna start the bit at, and then current bit, this you don't have to add anything because this is gonna be added by the system automatically. And then location, we can do something like that. Category, we can just do arts. And then the ideal is that you use your form to add these items. So, but in this case, we're just trying to speed up things a little bit. And then we can do those right there. And then save. And then notifications, that's gonna be again your terms of service. And then, or notifications. And I put that, the end time, we want it to be tomorrow at 12 p.m. And then winner, you're not gonna select anything. So that's it. So once we go to publish here, right? And then if I refresh this, I should be able to see an item. There you go. And there it is. So it looks all messed up here because you had to, that's the thing about Wix Studio. You have to stack everything. If not, it's gonna be all messy. So let's do this really quick so I can give you a whole text right here. And then actually, let me do this really quick here. Okay, so we're gonna select this, and now we can stack it. And perfect. So again, you can take your time, look into the design on that. And then we can refresh this, and it should be aligned better here. There you go. So it should look like that. And then if I click, it should take me to the detail page, which is right there. And then starting bits, 0, nobody has bid on it. And then right now, see, no bidders, no results yet. So I can click on place bid and it's gonna ask me to create an account. So on the first part of the video, I show you how to set up the permissions and create all the pages. And the second one is adding the elements and the code. So I'm gonna click sign up and I'm just gonna do demo1 at gmail.com. And then I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can set rules. So for example, you can add a section here, right? Because I wanted to bid. But we're gonna go to my dashboard. And right here, I can add, for example, a disclaimer. Make sure to update your, it looks like that, just as design flow, but we can go and update it. But you wanna make sure you tell them like, add this, update your profile before start bidding. And then we can do here. So one thing that you notice, it's not letting me do anything. And that's because there's something wrong with our code. So let's take a look here. So we're gonna go back and we gotta make sure that our button, it's gonna reference. So if it's not referencing, it's because there's an error here. There's a problem. So it didn't reference when I created the account. See, there's no items here. So what happened there is my code didn't reference my collection. So that's something we need to look into. So let's see what the error is. So that's right there. And let me make sure we didn't miss anything. Everything is correct. Let me take a look here. We're gonna do an inspect really quick. And no. Gotta make sure to see if, so our code is the login button, and then if there's no user, is gonna query this, and if it doesn't exist, is gonna add it, new bidder. See, so everything is good there. So let's see why. I think one thing it might be is the settings and the permissions. So what happens, right, is when you are creating an account, technically you're not a member yet, so that's why this is a problem. So there's two ways on doing this. Is I'm gonna have it that everybody can add a bidder, and then we're gonna make sure to change that permission settings, because technically you haven't become a member yet. That's why you were not able to insert this in here. So now we're gonna log out, test this again really quick. So that's the only thing we need to do there, and then refresh this. So let me create an account again. So we're in the action list. I can do login, sign up, and I'm gonna do demo 2. And then I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not a robot. And then right here should work. Okay, so as you can see, it's already giving me an error because now it was able to add it. So let me take a look at this really quick. And first, let's make sure it did add it here or not. It did. So it is correct. It worked. It adds it, but it shouldn't be giving me a 404 error. So let's take a look at the page here. And let me go to the settings. And oh yeah, so what are we missing here? Let me check really quick just to make sure. I'm missing, not missing. So you see here, it has a dash. So I'm missing this. Somehow I missed it when we created this page. So apologies for that. So we're gonna just add it and it should be working fine now. Like that. That's how it should look. So replace, yes, ignore that. And then this is what it should look like when you go to the 3 dots, SEO, and then this is what it needs to look like, okay? So now it should work. And I'm glad these things happen and we're testing it so that way you're not having to go through this by yourself. There you go. So now it should work. When I click here, because I do exist in the system, I should be able to add my data. And then I can do 3 numbers. And I can do some info here. And I can add an image. Can do this one. And then I can update. It's gonna add it right here. And then again, just adjust your design. But my info is right here. And then I haven't bid on anything, so I can go now into the action list. And if I click on bid, I'm gonna be able to bid on this, place a bid, and I'm gonna add $60, submit, and then bid submitted. And I can go back to the items. And if I go here, come on, let me close this real quick. Did I connect this? I don't think I connected this. Let's see. So again, that's the button that we do need to connect. So let's go to item. No, sorry, place bid here. This one. Yeah, this one you need to connect it to action items list and then done. That's why it wasn't taking us back there. So that's it. And now we can refresh this and it should be able to take us back there. So if I click all items, you can see it's there, 18 hours left. I can click on the image. And if I scroll down here, now you see my name and then leading. And then if I go to my own dashboard, again, we made so many mistakes yesterday. Apologies. I can tell it was late, so it's fine. We're just gonna fix it really quick. Gonna make sure you click on the login bar, the one behind it. manage menu, and then right here we're gonna go to remove from menu. We're gonna add it again, because remember we added a dash to our page, so that's why we're having that problem. So it's this one, and then click done. Okay, and then my dashboard, I can do dashboard. Okay, so the reason why that changed is because we changed the URL here, and that one also affected that. But after this, it should be fine. So I updated it, and then I can go back here to add. Oh, can I go back? Sorry. So now if I go to dashboard, it should say dash. There you go. So now you can see my item is right here, and I can click update bid, and it's gonna take me back to the same one. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do 100 already, since I wanna make sure I win this item. And it's submitted. So I can go back to the items. And there it is. Boom. So I'm gonna continue in another series on these items on how to sell. So if you're interested, let me know in the comments. So I'm gonna show you how to buy products, sell, and create your own auction business. And as you can see right now, because I only have one item, that's why only one category under arts. But I can also type, for example, the listing name here. Oh, and this shouldn't say listing name. So let me check why I was doing that. This one, we need to connect it. So let's make sure we connect that one. For some reason, we missed it. Yeah. It's gonna be title. There you go. So yeah, so what I was saying is whenever you type the name right here and the search, you should be able to find it. So let's see. Come on, what happened? Oh, it takes a few seconds to update, that's why. So there it is. I didn't connect that one, so just keep that in mind, and then we can do silver. See, it's already gonna show there. And there's no more results, so that's why it's not gonna do anything, but everything is working. If you have more questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll be very happy to help you. Again, thank you for the support. If there's something you like to see on this specific project, let me know. We can continue building on this. And if you want to just have access to this template without having to worry about creating all this stuff, you can also buy it on the link in the description, and let me know if you have questions. Take care.